First live stream of 2024. Let's see what's going on in the world of trucking. We'll be back in a minute. Oh, yeah. Good morning. How are you? I am fine. Generic intro. Good morning. January 3rd, 2024. How many of you have written 2023 if you still write things down? I know I was sending emails out yesterday. You know, when I bid on loads via email, I basically put in the title of the email, I put subject line, I put, like, let's say it's St. Louis to Chicago. I'll put St. Louis, Missouri to Chicago, Illinois, reference number if there is one, and then the date. And I'll put the actual, like, 1/3/23, but now it's 24. And I kept doing 23 yesterday. Getting a truck out of the Northeast yesterday was no fun. And we ended up taking a small hit on that, but the load that got him out there was really good, so it made up for it. So you got to do what you can. Looks like, well, that YouTube short that I did about the lighter, about the torch, is doing well. It's got 2,000 views. Wow. My shorts have been, on the other channel, have been doing fairly well. Anyways, let's make some adjustments here. So keep the trolls out. Oh. Am I losing internet again? So internet's been doing some weird stuff here lately. So torch short was good. Yeah, you know, what's funny is the trolls came out. I just do this. I just it's like, you know, it's amazing to me how people will go out of their way to try to offend you. Like, why is it so important in your life to offend a person? Like, you know, and I'll give you, I mean, there's plenty of examples, right? There we go. Now we're cooking with gas here. And I'll give you an example here in a second. Let me do this. I'm not a multitasker. You would think I would be, but I kind of suck. All right. Let's do 20 minutes. You want to say something? You got to be with me for 20 minutes. But like I remember during the heart of the election, and I was at a small truck stop in West Plains, Missouri. There's this old man. He was in there, and he had the red MAGA hat. And it's amazing how powerful that hat was, right? You want to trigger somebody, just wear that hat. And so a lot of people started wearing that hat as a badge of courage, not because they supported the president at the time or whatever, but because it was like, oh, let's get an argument started. Let's offend somebody. And granted, it easily offended people, and I was amazed by that. And this old man came in, and he's wearing his hat. He's all like, and he looks at me, and he's like looking for a reaction. Like his eyes were literally looking at my face to see if I would have a reaction, which, I was kind of on his side anyways. So, I mean, of course I'm not going to have a reaction. But people with the MAGA hats, they either think that you're going to get an angry reaction or like a hell yeah, brother, kind of reaction. And he was just watching me intently, like to see if I would be moved or offended by his presence. And he was doing that with everybody. And of course, there was a person in there that was offended by his presence. And I'm just like, man, you people, so much power in a piece of clothing. You know what I mean? Like why would me talking about a lighter on YouTube, why do you feel the need to go out of your way to sit there and go, rah, rah? That's the internet. That's social media for you. Look up the frequency of blue light, blue screen, and maybe that's the explanation. So anyways, enough about that. Yesterday was so quiet, strangely quiet. I sent myself an email to make sure that it was still working. It was that bad. I did book a load yesterday for a driver and who had an extended vacation. And that was the only email I got. Even the Schneiders and the JB Hunts and the, my normal guys weren't sending me emails. I thought that was strange. Amazon still sent me email. And then FedEx sends us a lot of emails. I still got those, but not to the level that they have been. So January is here. And it'll be interesting to see what the rest of the week. I'm probably acquiring a new client hopefully next week. And then if you guys missed it, I did a members only live feed where I talked about the numbers that I dispatched last year and what those totaled to and the amount of drivers and the whole 9 yards. In respect to the members, you have to watch on the membership feed because they pay for it. And so they're privy to that information. There are some changes coming to the channel. I'm still going to do this morning podcast thing, but I'm going to try to pepper more recorded videos. And then I do have a video coming up. I need to interview David Edwards. So David, if you're watching, you are in here. I haven't forgotten about you. And then, I have a couple important videos because my goal this year is to make sure that I do what I can to help people not be their own enemy. And, and out of all the drivers I've dealt with last year, a lot of them just can't get out of their own way. And there are people out there that are ready to take advantage of that. You want to be a truck owner? You want to be a business owner? What's your credit? Oh, it's no good? Well, guess what? I'll give you credit and I'll take advantage of that. So, I mean, those kind of deals, the big carriers and small carriers. A lot of people think of the Schneiders and the Swifts and the Primes when it comes to lease purchases, but the small guys are doing a worse job. People trying to charge, $100,000 for a truck worth 40, people were trying to get me to at least purchase out my truck. You can probably get 80 grand for it. Yeah, for a $20,000 truck? No. And so I've learned that integrity is going out the window with the majority of the trucking industry. And so there's a lot of landmines you got to avoid. And if I can help you navigate the minefield of common sense, with common sense, I mean, then so be it. I don't want people to be taken advantage of anymore, but I'm not playing the victim game either. A lot of people are willingly signing up for this, not reading their contracts, not realizing what they're getting into, simply because they're going off of emotions and carnal desires, I guess you should, for lack of a better term. Speaking of bad decisions, I got my Peterbilt 389 mug here. Horrible fuel mileage on the coffee, but we're good. Wife's out. She went to a dentist appointment. But we had, I hope you guys had a good Christmas. Hopefully you were home. I don't know. I haven't heard the stories of people making killer money out there. I did have one driver out that was making killer money, who doesn't celebrate Christmas, so he was out making cash, but it was a special, not low board thing. So New Year's was pretty uneventful. I did almost break my foot, or I did break my foot. I haven't decided yet, but New Year's Eve night, I slammed my foot against a box, and it hurt. My pinky toe was like there's a pretty decent bruise on my foot, and I ate horribly, and I lost a crown on my tooth. I still got to get that fixed, but I'm definitely feeling it, both physically and mentally. So, I mean, definitely diet is important. We're going to start touching more on the diet stuff on recorded videos and maybe in the YouTube shorts, because it's, taking care of yourself financially is important. We talk about reducing costs, profit margins, all that stuff. However, what are you doing for mental resilience? Are you the kind of person that complains a lot? I get on Facebook and I see a lot of people complaining. Complain about this, complain about that. That's what you put out in the universe. That's what the universe is going to bring you back. And mental resilience is important. Physical. I'm going to be working on some physical stuff this year. I'm going to be working on some weight training. I guess this is my audio version of New Year's resolutions. And then stricter fasting regimen. And by fasting, I don't mean like going without food completely, but like cleaning up my diet. No additives, no, none of this, none of that, and just trying to really focus on myself, because there's some hard times coming. And you're going to need to be, as I've said for the last 3 freaking years, physically fit, mentally fit, and financially fit, and spiritually fit. So we're going to touch more on that kind of stuff. You are what you consume. And I see a lot of bad social media going out that people just consume. I know that I feel more brain damaged when I do too many YouTube shorts. So, I mean, that stuff's affecting you and affecting your decision abilities and affecting your emotions. And when you make business decisions based off emotion, based off of fear, based off anxiety, based off of anger, based off of want, bad things happen. People can take advantage of that. If you're a highly emotional person, people that know how to manipulate will, can, and do. So just know that you have to protect yourself. If my words bring anger or fear to you, then you need to figure out why. If they're inspiring to you, cool. My intention is just to inform and hope that you can kind of figure things out on your own, because ain't nobody going to help you. So it's as simple as that. Let's see. Randy Curry, what's up? Good morning. Good morning from Wildwood, Florida. You're late. I am late. I apologize for my tardiness. My wife was up. So here's my old morning routine is I get up about 4 a.m., 4:30. My natural. I don't use an alarm. And I go out to my recliner and, I start the coffee maker up. I go over a devotional app and just kind of meditate on that for a minute, and then charge up my phones, make sure they're good for the day. And then on a bad day, I'll start with YouTube Shorts, or I'll start with YouTube notifications, what happened last night, and there's a lot of YouTube channels that I follow that release videos at 5 and 6 a.m. But if I can remain focused, I work on that. Then I'd have this routine where I kind of move my body. It's not really a workout. It's just kind of stimulating everything, the muscles and the organs. And I drink water, and then I get on my coffee, and I just kind of enjoy the quiet. My wife switched to an hour earlier, so half that time is now spent with her. So she gets up about 5:30. We hang out for a minute, and then we talk about, we talk a lot. We do. We have really great conversations. And then she goes to work at 6. And so I'm back by myself. And then between 6 and 7, if it's a live feed day, I'll kind of figure out what I'm going to do. A lot of times I'll take my shower in that time. And then 7, I go live, or 7, I start up the computer, and if a truck needs to be dispatched, I'm doing that. And work on some broker things if needed, and just kind of get an evaluation in this control room, kind of a deal. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, sometimes that between that 6 and 7, at 7 I'll go live doing the walk, but it's been really cold here and rainy, so haven't been doing that lately. But anyways, she doesn't go to work until later today, so she was up a little bit later than normal. So my whole timing's been off, and so that's why I was late. That's a really long explanation of why I didn't go live at 7 a.m. But I apologize to Randy because apparently it's important. JF Trucker, good morning. My name is Nobody. Good morning. Trucking with MC. Hey. Tom Gersh, good morning. St. Pete, Florida, ears on. Matt K, good morning. David Edwards, morning. Sean, Johnstown, New York. Sure you've been to the place? Actually, I have not. I never went to New York with Schneider. For that matter, I only remember going to New York a few times as a company driver, and then once with Landstar. And that was to visit my uncle up in Connecticut before he passed away. Wrote a song about that. You should go check it out. The last time I was in the Northeast was Pennsylvania in Schneider. I dropped a trailer at Caterpillar. Is it Caterpillar or Harley Davidson? Maybe it was Caterpillar. And it was funny because they're like, "Oh, you're supposed to have steel-toe boots." And they looked at my shoes, which looked like steel-toe boots, but weren't. Like, you're fine. And then the trailer Schneider had me pick up was literally missing a door. Like, I go to pick it up. Oh, wow, this is one of the newer ones. Cool. And I go in the back to check on it. Make sure it was empty, and there's the door just sitting there going, "Hey, what's up?" So I had to call box planners and say that the trailer was damaged and that someone needs to pick it up, blah, 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 that kind of thing. But that was the last time. I did a video on that, Lost in PA or something like that. For the most part, the most east I went with Schneider was Glendale, West Virginia. That was an easy run. Empty plastic bottles coming out of St. Louis, going to the place where they bottle oil up in Glendale, West Virginia. The dock was kind of tricky, but we got in there and nice and light, 5,000 pounds. And then normally I was deadheading the New Concord for a load out of there. So Trucking with MC, rock out time. Thank you. Loves to invest $1 billion upgrading 200 truck stop locations by 2028. Yeah, they're on fire, man. They've been doing their thing, putting truck stops in places that most of the chains won't touch. So Shannon, good morning. Birthday boy. Yeah, yesterday was my birthday, if you guys didn't know. And I'm old, so there's that. Music Rock, says JF. Trucker named Tim, good morning. Wishing everyone a safe and prosperous 2024. Good deal. Thank you. Sub WCF Invader, morning. It's 24, baby us. Baby us. Weekend Embrace. There you go, Trucking with MC. He knows the song. Weekend Embrace is the song that I use in the morning, but the one about my uncle is actually, it's a different title. So, Flatbed Trucker, good morning. There is a music video of that particular song. The Final Curtain is what it's called. Flatbed Trucker, good morning. This will be a rough year, then it'll get better. JF Trucker, that's kind of what I'm seeing. It depends on what the world wants to do. Good morning from Bangor, Maine. As soon as I get these brakes unfrozen, I'm back on the road. Thanks for the hard work, Rig Runner. Good deal. I'm glad I could help, and hopefully those open windows will serve you. So, torch short was good. Thank you, JF. I'll be getting one of those torches. Yep, there you go. Yeah, and that's what inspired it. Scorpion was talking about his lock freezing, and I said, I know you're not a cigarette smoker, but you got to get a torch, because everybody thinks of a lighter. Well, when it's windy, you put a lighter, the flame goes up. So all you do is burn your finger, right? So, but the torch is directional, and that did the trick. I mean, it was literally and so I made it a habit. I wear cargo pants. I made it a habit to have that on my person as part of my personal EDC. Now, if you're in the personal EDC at all, there's a ton, like millions of videos on that subject. People like to show off their gun and their knife that they carry and their multi-tool and all this stuff. And some people even go as far as carrying medical kits. I'm not that insane, right? I do carry, the tool, obviously, a utility knife and a self-defense knife, a comb for this luscious beard, a flashlight, which is come in handy, even if it's at noon, it's come in handy, and then sometimes an extra mag, and then in the wintertime I would throw in the torch, because if you've got freezing rain, I always lock my door when I was outside of the truck, always, and and sometimes it doesn't take long, right? So, so carrying a torch it's on my person all the time. Now that I'm home, I don't do that as much, or if it's nice out, I don't carry that, but I made it a habit of carrying those items, and it gets kind of annoying at times having all that stuff on me all the time. Yes, it's mind-blowing, trolls. Good morning, Steve, says CDM Freight Broker, who also released a couple of videos. Happy New Year, everyone. May 24th be the year, or less words and more action. It is time to put our knowledge to work, both in business and personally. I agree 100%. And you caught me at a bad time yesterday, CDN. I was dealing with some, birthday depression, because sometimes I just kind of trying to figure out, where I'm going, right? And I don't get a lot of reassurance with things that I see and what people say and all this stuff. So I find myself just kind of, I was in this time of year, and I don't want you guys to be all freaked out or anything like that, but this time of year, I'm always very reflective. My dad died. Actually, today's the anniversary of my dad's death. and I don't dwell on it, but I do reflect on, Christmas is kind of the end of the year stuff for me. And then my birthday is, literally right after that. And so this is a time of reflection. What did I do well? What did I not do well? We do a thing in our family called the gratitude jar, where we have a jar and we have little Post-it notes that that we keep by the jar. And every time something good happens, you write down the date and put it in the jar. And then at New Year's Eve or New Year's Day, you bring them all out and you read them. And it's a nice time of positive reflection, which is what we all need. A lot of times we forget the good stuff and only remember the bad stuff. And so I'm very and yes, they start off kind of depressed about a lot of things. And but it got better, as my wife got off work and the kids were, now everybody was in spoiling mode of the birthday, guy of the house, and so it got better. And then we went out to eat last night, and then that was better. We spent the time together. My son did some extra chores as a gift. My daughter gave me a couple of candles, because I've been burning candles while I've been, working. It helps me, I don't know, focus or something, but it's weird, but you'll be all right with it. And where do I want to go? And then I got all the year-end tax stuff I got to deal with too. So dealing with the trailer sale and the truck sale and dealing with all the paperwork I need to keep up with and all that. There's a lot of changes that are going to happen this year. And, the headlines on the news just really kind of started right off the bat. You have the big earthquake, you have the unrest in the Middle East that could affect our world. When it comes to shipping, it's going to change the dynamics. And I told you it was going to change the dynamics. So, I'm keeping my eye on those things. And then the lack of emails and the lack of communication I had yesterday working off the low boards was not very comforting as well. And seeing some of the issues that we've had with a few bad apples, it's 2024 is going to be interesting. So it's in my best interest to snap out of it and eat right, sleep right, and make sure that I'm on optimum level. Because if not, I'm going to fail. I'm going to falter, and that'll be the same thing for you as well. Gen Z, good morning. Dutch, Happy New Year from Holland. Good deal. Prime Inc. launches new Hopper division today on their YouTube channel at 9 a.m. Yes, they have entered the Hopper world, and that will become interesting. So, I don't know. How well does their tank division do? Do you still see a lot of their tanks? I almost thought about joining their tank division before I got my CDL, because that was what I truly wanted to do. I didn't want to do generic dry van freight. I truly was wanting to do liquid freight, and I never did it. I got this close, but never got into it. And I don't see myself getting back in the truck. Knock on wood. But if I did, that might be the route I would go. So I wear Ubering and get positive and negative comments. See, talk about the MAGA hat. See, I believe in being gray, right? Because we're going to get off topic here for a minute. Thanks, JF Trucker. But here's the deal. There's an agenda out there that wants you to choose sides. They want us divided. And the more gray you can become, then you'll be able to see, I've always been under the radar, be the quietest man in the room. So when everybody's yelling and screaming and going off and letting their emotions get the best of them, you can strategically strike where you need. And that's kind of how I live. Even at, like, when I was working in a factory, I never made a lot of noise. I wasn't a pushover, but I didn't make a lot of noise. I grew up in some inner city areas that was not friendly to my kind. And I just kind of kept my head low, make sure that no one messed with me. Not because I was a coward, but because, a lot of battles weren't worth fighting. And to present my wholehearted beliefs in my clothing, showing a side, it really kind of opens up to people that are easily manipulated. So being under the radar is the trick to go. Fate Trucking morning, hoping everyone is having a great start to a wonderful day. The Coach and Stewie Show, good morning. I thought that was not a thing anymore. So Jose, good morning. Dutch, people wearing Trump shirts over here with mugshots, some for fun, right? $1.20 off East Coast today up here for the Orange Gang. Nice. Good discount. CB, but I deserve a no credit check, no down payment, walk away lease truck, Snorelord. You deserve it, yes. Yes, entitlement is real, right? If all goes okay today, I'll been able to gross $42.60 on 1,300 miles, Monday through Thursday. Very blessed week, and made some good broker relationships last 2 weeks. There you go, Gen Z, making it happen. Sean says, I always do in between Christmas, New Year's. This year, huge flop. Thank you. We have both seen plenty of owner-operator drivers that will not do what they need to do for the business. Not only for their business, but for themselves. Look, if you don't want to rescue yourself with a load that could pay well because it goes into an area that you're not used to, I can understand that. I can understand the anxiety that comes with that, but people that won't give up their truck when their family is suffering because they can't pay the bills, that's the part that gets me the most. And I've seen that several times this year. And it's like, look, man, it's a truck. At the end of the day, on your deathbed, that truck is not important. This truck behind me on the screen there, screw that truck. Did I love having it at the time? Yes. Was it a good truck? Yes. But that's it. That's where it stopped. It was a tool. Did I wash it? Did I take pride in it? Yes. But was I going to lose my house and my wife over that truck? No. Was I going to, destroy my body for that truck? No. And maybe that's why I'm not rich in trucking. Maybe that's why, because I wasn't willing to sacrifice the things that were important to me or take advantage of somebody. And it's like, what are you doing? And yeah, I'm not going to get into that. But it's not just for their business, for themselves. Take care of yourselves. Last week, $48.50 on 1,300 miles. Didn't want to work, so I bid high and got lucky. There you go. Channels like your Snorelord help, man. Thank you, JF. They're just waiting to pounce, says Buck Brown. I am way behind on comments. Forgive me, please. When you do things for the accomplishments instead of money, you'll be surprised how much money you make. Yeah, I mean, my goal was to pay off that truck, and I did. My goal was to pay off the trailer, and I did. But it wasn't going to be at the cost of everything else. So, Romeland Services, good morning. Try me. They fused my lumbar vertebrae at the end of November. Still trying to sit on a sofa without issues. Can walk, lay down, but sitting down is still a problem. Sorry to hear that, Dutch. Hopefully it'll get better. The market report I sent you has a lot to unpack if low board is quiet. Okay, we'll take a look at that. In 90s, early 2000s, Schneider sent me northeast all the time. Well, when I was at Schneider, I was self-dispatched, so I didn't have to go up there. CBI second year comment says, what's the best to release frozen brakes, hammer or hot water? Well, it depends on how cold it is. Hot water will just refreeze. So everybody should be carrying a rubber mallet to really kind of, or those orange plastic lined mallets. You might have to call a road service if you can't get them. And then also there's some spray I think that you can that can help. The stuff that you would spray on your windshield. I don't know. I've only dealt with frozen brakes twice, and a hammer did the job. So, good morning to you, sir. Back on the road. I think 2024 will be a little bumpy. Hope for the best. Be safe out there, drivers. Watch your numbers. David Riverman, thank you. Scorpion, never water, always a hammer. There you go. Hot water will just freezes faster than cold water. There you go. Yeah, because, the steam, that hits, and, so you just want to hammer the crap out of it. So, happy birthday. Mine was Christmas Eve. Thanks, Dutch and Buck Brown. Sean says, you should make a big deal about your birthday and demand super chats on that day. I almost went live yesterday, but I was definitely not in the mood. So, and look, it's about intention, right? If my intention was to go, I'm gonna get super chats, then they never happen. My best super chats happen when I don't expect it. So, DIY Semi, good morning. I am finished with the book. I finished it last night. So whenever you want to do the book report, I'm up. Jamie O, prayers for you, family, and father. Thank you. Plane crash. Yep. It is a crazy world. Only will drive up the price of oil again, like always, right? Prime Tinker has 2 major lanes out of Savannah, Georgia. Greg Big, what's up, man? Everybody go check out Greg Big's channel. He's got really good short haul vlogs that he goes on. He's living happily up there in New York. So, trucker named Tim. If I agree, if they divide, they conquer. Yes. Speaking of out of the norm, I saw JB Hunt truck hauling actual logs. Yep. JB Hunt has all kinds of divisions. Same thing with Swift. I've seen Swift and Hogan haul cattle. Those mega carriers, man, they will get in those specialized markets if they've got a way in. So just be aware of that. JF says facts. Cents per mile. Winter tip: if you're going to dump something on your frozen pads, use rubbing alcohol. Yeah, so that spray stuff for windshields. That's good. Do you think war will spark this year? I want to say yeah, but it seems like we always teeter on the edge and then it calms down. It's like last year, they were like, oh, we're on the verge of World War III and it's going to happen any second. And all of a sudden you're at YouTube and Facebook's talking about apocalyptic things and prepping foods. And, I think that they ruffle up the feathers so they can sell more stuff. It's kind of like these YouTube channels talking about ammo shortages that are coming and, and all this stuff. And there's a lot of religious channels that try to be prophets, and which is not kosher, and like, oh, on this date we're going to have this, on this date, it's like at some point there's always a war coming, right? But the only war you need to worry about is the one that you're in control of, which is your inner war. because what happens in Ukraine, what happens in Israel, you have no control over that. None, zero. And you have no idea what the true motivations of those wars are. And these are tribes of people that have been at each other's throats for thousands of years. And when you look at the history of World War I and World War II and the manipulation that was used before these wars started on the people, on the populace, then I see a lot of that. And there's not much I can do except be situational aware. What can I have control over? What can I do? What the what ifs? And then work on making myself better. But you can't be frozen in fear. And there are many times in the last 5 years that I've held back on business plans because of fear. And so I'm trying to like balance that out. So top 5 good truck companies for a company driver. Oh, Eugene, that's a can of worms. I don't I know too, but beauty's in the eye of the beholder. You know, I had a really great experience at Transland, not Trans Am, but Transland out of Springfield, Missouri. It was literally the only company I've ever worked for as a company driver. And I was fine with that, but I know so many drivers that hated that place. You know, I've had a couple of friends go over there based off of my recommendation, and then they complain about all these different things. I'm like, I never saw that. You know, so beauty's in the eye of the beholder. But I know there are good people at Transland, and I know there's good people at Opie's. And other than that, I can't really tell you. You know, the companies that we thought were good, that paid well, are out of business now. And the companies that promise you the world, they're lying. I would say Walmart. Walmart's a good company job. And but it's not easy to get in. It's not easy to maintain. I've heard good things about Nussbaum out of Iowa there. That's it. That's. But I had a couple of friends that went over there and they hated it. So I can't answer that question, Eugene. So I apologize. Scorpion, try tapping your brakes slightly while driving before parking so they heat up and are drier. Yeah, so the issue is he's been sitting for 7 days, almost. Like he shut down New Year's Eve, and then he's going back to work today. So, and it was raining when he parked. Thanks, Dutch. Still working on it. 33 degrees here. Well, at least it's in your favor. Any info on Stevens Transport? Less and less drivers are on the road now that I've seen. I know one person that worked for Stevens. Actually, I know two. But other than that, I don't know much about them. I do know that they're the slowest trucks on the road there. They got nicer trucks, but yeah, so I don't know much about them. Good morning, everyone. Wishing everyone the best throughout this new year. Thieving and tyrannical men will manipulate the masses to get us to kill each other. Don't accept the manipulation. There will be no war. There you go, CB. CB right there. Take a screenshot of that. That should be everybody's theme this year. Lloyd says, I'm leaving Savannah, Georgia early Saturday, picking up my daughter in Virginia Beach, Virginia, and then heading to Fallensby, West Virginia, to see my mom. I noticed they were getting more and more snow. Be safe out there if you are driving through it this weekend. Yes, there will be a snowstorm up in the Northeast. So they're calling for it. So yeah, the weather's gonna be interesting. So Scorpion, you gotta hurry and get the hell out when you can. All right, so let's take a look at the email that good old CDN sent me. We'll go over the market conditions before we go into low board stuff. Oh, and I missed a comment here. Justin Axford is a new member. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. So we'll highlight that while we take a look at things there. If you want to be a membership, the info's on the page. I've got 5 or 4 different levels. Let's see if I can find this. All right. Make sure we don't show off your stuff here. All right, so let's show this on the screen. So remove that. I have a 4-wheel drive vehicle, but that doesn't mean 4-wheel stop. Exactly. I think 4-wheel drive gives you, and this all-wheel drive gives people false confidence. You know, people with the Camaros and the Mustangs that don't handle worth a darn in snow. They know to stay home. It's the people with the 4-wheel drives that look at the automotive commercial. Shows people doing stuff. Hold on a second. Oh, yeah. Sorry, guys. I had the microphone mute. My wife just told me. All right, so let me read a couple more comments, then we'll get to the screen here. I'm hauling 14.7 tall into Chicago today. I'll let you know if I buy a bridge. Jeez. Oh, man, I can't even imagine. Jackknife, good morning. I am mute. Finally going out on your first run of the year. Hey, Jackknife, I saw an article where Tyson's getting into the bug business. I'll have to find the article, and I don't think I have your cell phone. Do I have your cell phone? I don't know. If you have my number, text me. If not, then email me. But yeah, it's an interesting article. I have a load to Ocala, Florida today, so I'm enjoying the good weather now. Good deal. No sound. We got sound now, baby. All right, so let's present the screen. All right, so this is the current market conditions for January 2nd, 2024, my birthday. Actually, I wasn't born in 2024. I'll let you guess what the year is. These are your gauges. Obviously, they're so what's interesting is overall market is in this green here, and it has been down here. So that's an improvement. Van market is about the same. Reefer market is in the loose category instead of just the soft category. So that's an improvement. And then flatbed has actually gone down a little bit, which is this time of year. That's normal. So it's normal to see that. Baltic Index for shipping costs 2021 to 2023. As you can see, the costs have gone up. Let's see. The blow chart, total tractor count for U.S. fleets. The takeaway here is that there's still excess capacity in the market. Look how many trucks you're competing against right here. Let's blow this one up. Look at that. Total count of tractors from interstate for hire fleets. Look at that. This was 21. This is today. Pretty crazy, ain't it? This is the Freightos Baltic Index, Global Container Freight Index. Not sure what that means. I'm kind of done with some of these charts. The chart below shows Morgan Stanley's prediction on spot rates. The takeaway here is that prediction for spot rates to increase to 188 in 6 months and 228 in 12 months. So there's some good news there. They're predicting rates going up. So just hang in there. You'll be all right. There's your reefer market conditions. Red is bad, or no, red is good on this map, and blue is bad. Jeez. Phone's going off. It was probably the dentist calling because I told him to call me, and you gotta be kidding me. Oh yeah, it's 8 o'clock. YouTube's going off. Sorry about that. I apologize for my unprofessionalism. That's why I've only got 64 people in here. Yeah, Van's not looking great, but look in the southeast. Now, something that Eric brought up, if shipping containers, actually that wasn't van, that was flatbed. Here's your van. And look, an uptick of freight here. Good deal. This is probably not the report CDN wanted. But anyways, if they start using a different route for shipping containers, there's going to be a lot of cross-docking from coast to coast to move everything. And so that could have a different dynamic to our fleet, to our freight movements. And then also, if oil tankers start getting attacked, it's going to affect fuel prices. And then inflation, because insurance is going to go higher for these ships that are under constant, which is why the Navy is going to step up and say, hey, we got to protect this because this is protecting our livelihood. Just like you got to protect the highways. The trucks are important for a lifeline of this country. Well, the ships are that way for the world. So without trade, without that kind of thing, then, we all struggle. So man. Note, spot rates have increased considerably. However, this is mostly related to the holiday break. Look for them to lower over the upcoming upcoming week. So I agree with that because a lot of people take the time off. And so it was probably pretty easy to get that high rate you wanted last week. This week, it'll be interesting. I think as people slowly start getting back to work, I think the rates will come back down a little bit. Outbound tender reject is at 5.22%. Our goal is to get above 6, so that's pretty cool. But the van outbound tender rejects is at 3.39, and the lowest record low was 2.3. The flatbed outbound is at 6.3, and reefer outbound was at 6.87. Reefer volumes and reject index will increase with seasonal tightness in the upcoming months. They're talking about spot rates will increase from 188 in 6 months to 228 in 12 months. So there's a target of October that a lot of people are talking about when it comes to rate increases. So this is the year to tighten the belt. This is the year to get your truck in order, and then get on the other side of this. So all right. So market data. Data analyzed by Carrier OK indicates that nearly 88,000 trucking companies have closed their doors in 2023 alongside 8,000 freight brokerages. How about them apples, right? Think about that. 88,000 trucking companies. Now, of course, a lot of those are the one truck operations, but 88,000. So if you're still surviving now, congratulations. You're better than 88,000 other companies. And we've watched some of the biggest companies go out this year or last year. So, but then look at the 8,000 freight brokerages, Convoy being one of them, obviously. And so it's a tough world for both driver or company and broker. And, yeah. So those you are, and a lot of people, have to be able to say, we need more to drop out. But that's how much excess we had because of the high rates we had. Ideally, we want a middle ground. Ideally, we want enough capacity that everybody can be serviced, but not so tight that rates have to go through the roof and then costs get driven to everything else. Back when rates were super high, what was I saying? I was saying, well, guess what? Everything else is going to go up now. Just like 20 states in the union have increased their minimum wage this year. 20 states. What does that mean? They're going to get more tax revenue. That means that rent's going to go up. It means their food's going to go up. It means shipping's going to go up. Your Amazon package, if it's not being stolen off the porch, the price of that's going to go up. And that's where those high rates got us. Now, dealerships are $200 to $250 a labor hour. And now the price of trucks is coming down, which is good. But if they get down too low, it's going to make it too easy to get back in. So we don't want them to get too low. Sterling, gifted 5 Snorelord Metalhead Viking Cayman Trucker memberships. Thank you, Sterling. I appreciate that. What's up with Dryman Load Snorelord? I keep having guys tell me they're getting bright till $3 a mile plus. I have no idea what that means. I don't know what getting bright means. Orion, good morning. Amaris, thanks Sterling for the membership. There you go. Truck with T-Bone, good morning. I read somewhere it was 100,000. Well, where was that somewhere? Inflation on the way. Yes. Good morning all with both feet. Gen Z, I usually tell broker $4.50 a mile, send a pic of my white Volvo, and they send Raycon. That's how jackknife. I bid on a load through their platform. It wasn't a click and go, but it was one of these brokers that now have their parade site. and the email literally said, your rate is 15% more than what we're asking. And that was it. That's all it said. It's like, I think that was their way of saying, F you, dude, you're crazy. And can you reply to that? No, because it's an automated email. So I thought that was interesting. That's nuts. You would think rate would rise. Too bad. Too bad there's still hustlers all over YouTube enticing people to buy a truck or box truck and buy their system. Well, yeah, that's how you make money, right? Take advantage of someone with bad credit and give them a truck. They become slaves. Did I say that out loud? I'm sorry. All right, so then when the truck breaks down, you're completely relying on the carrier, so they got you. They got you. So, all right. So 123 low board. Here we go. 48065 if you want to check it out for free, 30 days. It's never gone down. And there you go. So less scammy brokers on here. Less scammy brokers. All right, so let's share the screen here. All righty. This is the density map. If you have the app, I will show what the density list looks like. This is what you're going to see on the app. Density list. Same thing. You just look for the colors. Look for the pretty colors. Look for your inbound, outbound rates. Not rates, but ratios. And, yeah, so. Avoid this whole area. If you're in van, avoid the whole Western 11, except California, which California is going to be interesting this year. You know why? Because you got to have special permits to go in. You got to prove that your truck's compliant. You got to have it. You got to have it registered. It costs money now. They're charging you if you want to drive in California. Someone's at my door. Hold on a second.